For those interested in the Peru trip where I DM for you every day, we're actually missing 3 people, so you're still able to sign up. We have 2 groups, which is 9 people in total, but we have 3 empty seats. This campaign is absolutely happening. If you're interested in gaming in Peru with us in a castle in the middle of the jungle, check out this video for more information. The time pressure part is irrelevant, but everything else is up to date. Link in the description. Now let's start the video. This is part 2 of my homebrew project. For those that don't know, I'm frustrated with official martials not being that strong. So I made a ton of subclasses. 3 for barbarian, 3 for monk, 3 for rogue, and 3 for fighter. I've covered one of the fighters, link in the description. The summary for that is it works like a Force Lance build. Basically, the gameplay is you're playing pool. This video is another fighter, but much more simpler and beginner friendly. This is my take on the champion fighter, but actually strong. Don't worry, this fighter has completely different features. It's not a crit fisher. It's much more simpler than that. Here I'm going to give you basic features that make you extremely effective at your job. The power floor is going to be up there with the half-casters. This is the most fighter out of all the fighters. Even in the base game, it's even more fighter than that. And it's really easy to understand. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where basic things in the game are completely fine and enjoyable, so long as they're effective and useful. Not everything needs to be complicated or a brand new unique idea. Now let's begin. This is a man-at-arms. I haven't added any flavor text, but basically, this can be anything. It can be a mercenary, it can be a hero, it can be a knight, it can be anything you can imagine. First feature, consistent blow. When you make a melee attack against a creature you can see and miss, you do half damage to the creature. This feature is very inspired by Worlds Without Number with Shock, but it's much more simplified and a mechanic everyone is already familiar with in spells and effects. After playing around with Shock for a year in Worlds Without Number, I played a warrior there. I felt really effective at my job because I was always doing damage no matter what. Even if I was unlucky with my rolls, I felt like a professional, which makes sense because I know how to fight. I'm a fighter. So I brought this here. Shock was really fun. If you want to check out Worlds Without Number, check out these videos. It's a fantastic system. Guys, Crawford made this system. It's Kevin Crawford, not Jeremy. They're not related. Anyways, next feature, swipe. Once per turn, when you make a melee attack against a creature, you can instead force each creature other than yourself within 5 feet of the original target and within your reach to make a dexterity saving throw. On a fail, a creature takes damage equal to your weapon's damage. The DC equals 8 plus your strength modifier plus proficiency bonus. Each time you get an extra attack feature through your fighter class, you can use the swipe feature an additional time per turn. Whoa! That's sick! I know, I've been asking for this mechanic for years. Writing this was actually a huge pain in the butt. I had to scrap it like 7 times to get it right. When I cover the Monster Barbarian, I'll talk more about why this was so annoying. Anyways, you get the idea. It's an AoE swipe. Here's a picture of how everything would look like on a battle map. This mechanic also accounts for your reach in case you're using polearm or playing a bugbear or whatever. I didn't want a complete emanation because that makes me think of Crash Bandicoot. Although a reach size emanation is a feature that martials do deserve. The problem is it just didn't fit here for me. But yeah, consistent blows and swipe is your basic hit. You do add your weapon's damage and add your modifier. You can't use consistent blow with the swipe though, because you're replacing a melee attack with something else. As simple as this kit is, this is one of the best martials ever. The power I'm aiming for here is close to a light cleric. I like to think of this subclass as the light cleric of the fighters. Anyways, next is charge or flee at level 7. Admittedly, this feature isn't very exciting. It's just something I feel like you need to get into melee easier, for example. You can dash for free a number of times. Level 10, you can make one melee attack against a creature as a reaction within your reach, a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. You're entering into tier 3 where spells get utterly broken and circle casting gets even more ridiculous. So this is to compete with that. Let's make you better at doing your job. Doing damage. Level 15, Lucky Hits. When you miss an attack, you can choose to hit instead. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. Again, we just want to make you better at your job. You deserve it. You're 15 levels in fighter right now. And finally, we're at the capstone, Brick Wall. When you use Action Surge, you become immune to all damage for the round. This is like the invulnerability spell, which you can use twice per short rest. If casters can turn people into dragons that stun creatures for 1 minute, that's an AoE stun by the way, then I think you're allowed to have this feature. You're 18 levels deep into fighter. You deserve this feature. Anyways, that's my very basic beginner-friendly fighter. End of video. Don't forget to check out the Peru trip if you're interested. Remember, there's only 3 seats left, and this game is 100% happening in September, so I would love to see you there. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye bye!